So what does a vacuum, a big bucket of water, and car wax have to do with this particular video? Stay tuned, we'll tell you. Thank you for coming back to the McGolf Shop. If you would, down right about here, about you swing and hit that bell, and that way you get more of these videos when they drop. If you would, please follow me on the other social medias as Instagram, Twitter, or even Facebook, and you look at I Am McGolf or McGolf Custom Clubs, you should find me. So what do we need all this stuff for? Well, we're in the middle of being shut down, so we're finding things to do, and we really want to get ready for the golf season. In most states, the golf courses are still open as long as you take the proper precautions, right? You got to maintain that 6-foot distance. You're riding by yourself in a golf cart, or if you have a fin scooter, and still maintain it. You don't use the flag stick, right? Make sure that your cart's all been disinfected, and reach in and just get the ball with your gloved hand, I would imagine, and just maintain your distance, right? And enjoy it. You know, let them be the peanut gallery from afar with your buddy. All right, or just go out and have a good zen moment of golf and go by yourself. Either way works. So, but when you get ready to go, you know, what these guys in the last couple of months, especially if you're in a place that has seasonal change or even you like different levels of sports, this finds its way into the deepest, darkest corner of your house, never gets out of the trunk of your car, it finds its way into the garage, just all different places, and it just sits. And then all of a sudden you get the need to go, well, let's go golfing. And, well, okay, until you pull it out and there's last year's dirt still on it, and you're like, huh. Now, you know, I think just puts you in a better frame of mind if you're ready to go for the season. And that's what this is all for, making sure that you guys are ready to go for the season. So what do we look at to begin with? Well, I'm going to take you through a tour of my bag. And first and foremost, what I look for first is the head cover, right? Head cover is very overlooked unless it's like a copy of your dog, you know, maybe a custom, you know, French fry or Starship Enterprise or whatever. Head cover, you really don't pay too much attention to it. Well, this is the one that you've thrown your club down or you've got water on it, it's got grass, and somewhere along the lines you've just been putting it on the golf club. Well, it's time to clean this guy out. So you take your vacuum cleaner, use the long nozzle, just run it around in there and pull it right back out, and that's it. It's not something hugely difficult to do. And then you look at the condition of your head cover. Are you starting to get tears or holes or something? Because it's really, the idea of that is to protect your big money item, right? Whether it's be this, hybrids, putters, big money items, right? And that's what they're there for. So make sure they're in really good shape. Second is your big money item, right? We're going to talk about this one for a bit. So you want to make sure all the faces are clean, right? You make sure all the soles are clean. Make sure your shafts are wiped down, and wipe down the top of your club. Now, what I've been given here is the Groove It tool, the Groove It club brush. And what I like about it is that the bristles are not too strong, not too soft, so it can use both the dark surfaces and the iron surfaces. It's got a little spray pump for some water, but I have it back here, and it does hang on your bag quite nicely. There will be a review forthcoming. What we do is we get this bucket of water, which is about as hot as I can possibly get it. You get all the goo that you've had from all the ball debris. You get the bottom taken care of. Then pull out your golf towel. Now the golf towel, we've talked about this one before. I prefer the Club Glove golf towel. It is a microfiber towel. It's got squares, and it's just rough enough to pick off any debris that you might need, but yet soft enough to be able to wipe off painted surfaces without scratching them. So you wipe down the entire surface. You wipe down your shaft, you wipe down the face, you wipe down the head, the whole 9 yards. And then you go into the inspection mode. You're looking for all those sky marks that you may have put on, some scratches that maybe you can always polish out. See where you've been playing so that you can get rid of that kind of stuff. Looking for cracks. You never know, you might have damaged the club either in storage or while you're playing. Same thing for the shaft, right? Now the one that we've always talked about in the past, and what we were looking at is the grip. Now the grip gets overlooked because Well, it's the grip. So what we want to do is we take that boiling hot water, or as hot as you can take it, and you hear this? Hear that squeak? So you take that same club glove and you get it going, and you just get it so that it squeaks. There you go. And you get it and you clean it off. And by the time you get down to the end of your clubs, this thing will be dry. And then where's the car wax come into play? Well, the car wax comes into dressing the top of your club, dressing the sole of your club, dressing the shaft, right? Now, you're seeing me work on the driver quite a bit, but it's just as vitally important in the irons, and we're going to talk about that here in a moment. And now we've got our driver, it's set, it's happy, it's ready to rock and roll, and you got the good karma happening with it. So we're going to put that one back. All right, next we're going to move on to the irons, because the fairway woods and the hybrids pretty much have the same concept, right? They have painted tops and the faces that need to be clean, the soles that need to be clean, and they're running on graphite shafts. Now what I want to show you is something in steel. Here we go. Something in the steel shafts. We really got to talk about that. So we go through the same inspection process, the same cleaning process, of which this is a wedge and it really needed it. Now you do not only the face, but the sole and the back of it. Wipe it down with the opposite end of the towel and give it a wipe down. Now, why is that so important? All right, when you get into the face, let me show you this. That guy needs to be clean, right? You see all in that? That needs to be clean. If you have clean grooves, typically the iron's going to perform better. And you've probably, if you're like most golfers out there, you probably have not really done that. And you're going to find that it actually feels better because you won't have any added vibration from the junk. I found some extra. So you won't have any loose debris, you won't have anything falling off of it, and quite possibly to give it a better feel. Now, what we're really looking at is, and if you get into some older models, you really want to take a look at the shaft, and especially on a steel shaft. I take this back from when I owned cars that had chrome bumpers, and we used to make sure that they were washed not only on the outside, but on the inside. And why we do that? Well, you don't want the chrome finish coming up, because if the chrome finish starts bubbling, popping, or rusting, then chances are this thing's going to fail somewhere down the road, and that's not what we want, or it's signs of it getting ready to fail. So, and it happens on much older equipment, but stuff that spins itself outside in the garage, sees a lot of seasonal change without, being inside. So you really want to take a look at this and make sure that you don't have any bubbles, any rust spots, or anything like that. Now, what happens if you get that? What you can do is, if you had SOS pads, it was like a small or a Brillo pad, you can rub up and down gently and get it so that you remove that little rust and it doesn't hurt the chrome too bad, or at all for that matter. Then when you're all said and done, you take it, make sure you're all smoothed out, and you hit it with the wax again. Now you hit this on the backside. Now you guys may have been noticing that I don't put any wax on the face. And that was because basically it would be illegal. You don't want to put any foreign substances on the face. So we get that going. And then we clean off the grip yet again. Now, last but not least is the flat stick. All right, and the flat stick goes through the exact same process, except chances are, in a lot of cases, and could be in your irons, that your grip is not rubber, right? It is the synthetic. It might be a softer one, typically Super Strokes. I happen to have a Garson on mine, so you really want to pay attention to that one too. So you clean the head, you clean the face, you look at the shaft, because most of them are steel, except for now we have some that are half and half, but you still want to take a look at the steel. You still want to wax the shafts, and then you want to take a look at the grip. Hence we keep coming back to the club glove. Now in the club glove, it's not as aggressive, so you don't have to grip as much, or you can just go back and forth. And what you'll see is it'll remove some of that dirt, just like it did for me and turned it into a really good white and black. And that's what we're looking for there. We'll let that dry. And see, this has already gotten to a point where it can go back into the bag. All right, so that's the golf clubs. Now, we're not quite done yet because we want to be completely right in our head, good about what we've got, making a good game plan about the rest of our golf game, and that's the golf bag. So what do we do there? Well, we got to empty out all those golf clubs we just put in it. This is where things start getting a little dicey. If you start taking all these things out and you've got your bag completely weighed down and it looks like it's about ready to explode from air because there's so much stuff in it, you better hold on to it, otherwise it's going to do one of those. And mostly, what's the big weight in a bag? Well, normally it's the golf balls, right? So the first thing you want to do is empty out that pouch of the golf ball. So why do you want to empty out the golf ball bag? Well, it's amazing what you'll find in there. I've got an old scorecard from the last time I played in Ocala. Somehow I've got a whole bunch of tees in here. Okay, that was a good move because there's nothing worse than sticking your hand in the ball slot and only jam up your hand in order to find it. So why do we look in here? Well, you know, throughout a round, you'll pick up a ball. If you like it, you'll throw it in the bag. If you use the ball an entire round, you throw it back in the bag. So what you're looking for is the golf balls that you've worn out. They might have cuts. They might be all used, have a few road rashes, maybe some tree burn, all those kinds of things. And you go through and you look at those. Now, what you really want to do is empty this guy out. To number one, thin out the golf balls, right? You just saw me, I picked out far too many than I should have had. You know, in that way it keeps the weight down and it also lowers the wear and tear in the bag. The last reason why do you want to do that? Well, you want to get in there, you can either do one of two things. You can either use the vacuum cleaner or you can just wipe out the dirt. Now, why do you do all that? Well, dirt is a grit, and a grit becomes a saw-like substance, and it just basically wears out the package. So what you want to do is you get it all clean, make sure these guys are all clean. It doesn't mean you can't clean it and put it back in, and figure out the ones that you want to keep and put those back in the bag. All right, next is the tee slot, and we go through the same thing. Normally the tee slot is also one of the big dirt catchers because, well, you're in the tee and you're bringing it in and you're bringing it out, and you may throw it out. Normally, if you're like me, you put it in your pocket, and your pocket normally gets all dirty, and that's it. You're going to go through that. Next thing you do is you look through all your valuables pouches, and you find stuff like that. Almost enough for a pop. It's 87 cents. We'll see where that goes from here. All right, if you guys have range finders, you want to clean that up. You want to clean up the place that you look through. And then the other part is you want to make sure if you've had this in there for a while, you might want to consider changing the battery. Now what I do is I keep an extra one. It gets you whatever battery it takes and keep a spare. Now if you guys have larger bags and bags anymore, the carry bags have had, well, you would have beverage containers or what they call a cooler pouch. And what they have in them is kind of a plastic liner. And this is where it can get kind of nasty if they don't have vents. Again, this is a plastic liner, but it does have the vents, so I'm in pretty good shape here. But you want to give it a good wipe down and dry out. And we keep going. Figure out I got sunglasses, some golf gloves. I've got a valuables pouch for if you guys don't want to use valuable pouches that the bag belongs to. I got a leaf, a pencil look at that, from Berwick in Scotland. All right, and the same thing, we go through and we vacuum out that guy. Which brings me back to golf gloves, all right? What you see here is I have what's called snap hooks. And snap hooks is basically a band that goes all the way around the bag from the back to the side for me. Some of them go around the front. And what it is, it's a big accessories holder, so you're not digging into things trying to figure out where they're at. For me, it's a big giant glove holder. It can hold a towel if you so desire. And you can add different things onto it. It's extraordinarily useful. And it's snap hooks with a Z, hookswithaz.com. Now what we look at is the glove, right? What we're looking for here is, and I'm probably the worst for this, is that you just leave them on the bag and you get ready to put it on, and then there's this crunchy feeling when you go to put it on. If it's that bad and it's all like this and we haven't taken care of it, it's probably time for another one, because the whole idea of the glove is to help you grip the club. And if it's all crunchy and it's got dust and dirt and all that stuff and it's stayed like that, chances are it's not going to grab the club. All you're going to do is squeeze harder. So just ditch that one and get you another one. So what we see here is we go through the inspection. We're making sure everything is good with that. Alrighty, on the other side we go through another big pocket. I found a few more gloves. Guess you can tell I'm a glove guy. Okay, the hood, right? You want to make sure the hood's in good working order, that it hasn't gotten rot, mice haven't got into it, that kind of thing. And you just make sure you're in good shape. And then anything else you might have in here, another leaf. The other part is something that you always might want to carry is a first aid kit, all right? Band-aids, bee stings, suntan lotion, lip balm, that kind of stuff. Just a real simple first aid kit. Make sure it's in date. The valuables pouch to me is like the holy grail of stuff. You just never know what you're going to run into. Well, it's a TruViz from Scotland. Now, I don't know about you, but this is where I normally find my money. And I got about another $1.50, so I really have enough for a pop. A ball marker or two that I like, maybe a couple of tees that I've used last that are going back in the original pocket. And for me, I have a divot tool. So for all you Huskers out there. And again, you want to clean this out because this one has the velour pocket in it, and that one would just wear right out. And I found another dime. All right, finally is the outside of the bag. The outside of the bag takes the brunt of all our throwing it in the back of the trunk, throw it in the back of the truck, right, when it has some of those areas. And the golf bags are made to be pretty durable. And they've got this hard skin on the outside. And so what I've used in the past is Windex, right, or some sort of cleaner, and just used it to wipe it down. This whole area was really black, and now we're down to that part of it. So that, just take it and just basically wipe down the entire bag, take the dirt off of it. And get into the bottom of it on the floor as well, or on the bottom of the bag. Now, that was just a quick clean just to wipe off the dirt, typically around the zippers into the small crevice areas where you want to get that. Again, the idea is just get rid of that dirt so it doesn't act like a saw getting into those crevices. Finally, what you want to do, and if you particularly if you don't have with 14 dividers that go all the way to the top, is do this. And there's some. Look at that. All right, and I thought I kept a pretty clean bag. So if you look down here, that was just a quick second. And that was just a quick second of just cleaning out your golf bag, and all that crap just came flying out of there. Now, in some cases, I've seen when guys bring in their bags and I'm repairing clubs, there's whole towels down on the bottom, head covers that have fallen in, other just articles, maybe pencils, other golf balls. Now's the time to get rid of that dead weight, right? Or you'd be able to collect that piece of treasure so you can put it back on your golf club. Again, just get that out of there, and if you can't, that's when this guy comes back into play. You get the little crevice tool and you just shove it down in there and you pull it around. And that's what you want to do. So that's getting you, that's getting you ready for it. And when you're all done, you're just in a better frame of mind, right? You're just in a better frame of mind, ready to go golfing. And that's what we want to do. And if you found out that maybe a grip is worn or a series of grips are worn, you replace it. Now all of a sudden your grips feel better. You found a little bead of rust on your steel shaft and you fixed it. Now you feel better. You found, oh, hey, I got a mark on my golf club, and you polish it off a little bit, and you feel better. And so, you're just feeling good about your gear. You're feeling confident about grabbing your golf club and making that confident swing. And then next thing you know, you're playing a better round of golf. You got a fresh glove on your hand. You got good golf balls in the bag. You got plenty of tees. You can get all your accessories, whatever it is that you prefer, and get ready to go, right? So, and it just makes you feel better at the end of the day. For the snap hooks, I'll put a link in the show notes. Also, the Groove It brush and the club glove towels, just to show you where you can go to find them if you're interested in such a thing. They certainly will, some of that stuff will be on my Amazon store, not all of it. Put this in the show notes. What's the strangest thing you found in your golf bag? All right. And as always, let's see your scores go low.